Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, who is more important in an Indian cinema? Do you think it's an actor or the director? This is the question that AK versus AK seeks to answer. So, today we're gonna do a movie review of the movie AK versus AK, which is in a lot of hype right now. I have put in timestamps for this video. You can skip through any part that you don't want to see, but I would suggest you see the whole video. Please stick through the whole video, and if you like this video, please make sure that you like, share and subscribe to my channel, and let's get into the review. Okay, so talking about the plot of the movie was planned in a very strategic manner. It kept the audience engaged till the end. This was not a very typical Bollywood movie which would have a lot of action, a lot of drama, a lot of comedy scenes and romance and all of that. This was a very different movie. It was a very Anurag Kashyap type of movie. It had a lot of dark comedy in it. It had scenes that actually blew your mind. The reason why this movie resonated so well might also be because these people used their real names in the movie, and this showed the audience that this might actually be a real scene or a real situation that might have happened with Anil Kapoor, which is why this movie resonated so well. People actually wanted to know what happened in the lives of these Bollywood celebrities. Since they are Bollywood celebrities, they often keep their private lives under wraps, and we only see a part which they want to show us. So, since this movie was basically showing us a very different side of their lives, a very private side of their lives, it gave us that engagement with the movie. Another point of importance is the subtlety with which this movie actually tries to portray issues like nepotism that exists in Bollywood, and also the fact that after a point certain actors become irrelevant or their work becomes irrelevant to us. So these are the issues that actually was portrayed in a way that was remarkable. This was another reason why this movie went so well with the audience. Talking about the theme and the tone of the movie, this is a dark film. It was filmed in such a way that it would portray the lives of Anil Kapoor and Anurag Kashyap in such a real light that people will actually believe that it is true. The use of strong language is another factor, that it is a family film. You can watch it with your family provided you are okay with a few slang words here and there. So that's another factor. It shows us how these people actually live. अगर पागल नहीं होता तो इस इंडस्ट्री में सर्वाइव कैसे करता? That's actually something to think about. Also, all the references that are made in this movie are so much on point. It is exactly needed. It is just the right amount of references, the right amount of dark comedy, and the thriller is amazing. The climax of the movie is a must watch. Talking about the acting and the characters that were involved in this film. Acting. Anil Kapoor's acting was so much on point. It was fabulous. His acting looked so real and so impressive. But apart from Anil Kapoor, who is actually a star, we should discuss about Anurag Kashyap. Well, Anurag Kashyap is a director. He is not used to acting, but his acting looked surreal. His acting was so impressive. The way he portrayed a character of being a psychotic man who actually goes on to kidnap Anil Kapoor's daughter Sonam Kapoor just for revenge actually shows you that even a director can become an actor if he desires to. He has portrayed that role really well. So yeah. Talking about the characters in the film, as we already discussed that they used their real names, that was one factor that actually made us think that it might be a true incident. Another fact was they actually ended up showing Anil Kapoor's whole family, and they showed us Anil Kapoor's house, they showed us his family, they showed us Anurag Kashyap's family and his house. So I think this was another factor that actually made sense to people. This showed people that this is actually happening in front of you. Another point that resonated well was the fact that it showed that an actor will always want to remain an actor. He will not want to be considered as someone who became invisible or someone who became irrelevant. So a star will always want to remain a star, and it is this need or this desire of that person that actually makes him do anything. Talking about the direction of the movie was done very cleverly. It showed how an actor can actually manipulate any situation in his favor, just like how Anil Kapoor did in the movie. So the direction of the film, how did this director choose to tell the story? So the director chose to tell a story in such an impressive way that you will actually remain hooked in your chairs until the last moment. Especially the last 13 minutes of the movie was the climax of the movie, and you will actually be boggled by that 13 minutes of the movie. So the direction was planned in a very clever manner. Whatever was done, the angles that in which the movie was shot, and everything was just perfect. Yes, if you watch the movie again, or if you watch it for a second time, or a third time, you will definitely find a few loopholes in the movie. But apart from that, if you're watching it for the first time, you will not realize it until the movie ends. It's not unless you actually sit down and think about what exactly happened in the movie. Until you do this, you will not realize any mistakes in the movie. So yeah, for that was definitely a good job by the director. It was an awesome job done by the director. Okay, so the talking about the cinematography of the movie, is really well. The editing was done in a very good way. The angles in which the movie was shot is also very clever, because in the movie it is shown that there is this one female Yogita who shoots the entire film. So when they had to do such a thing, it was very obvious that they had to shoot it in such a way that it would come in just one angle. Like if there are two people talking, they had to shoot that in such a way that they can capture both of them in one angle. And also the fact that those people can be standing in front of each other or behind each other. The way this film was shot was very clever. All the angles were planned in a good way, except definitely there are a few scenes that were not very well planned, I would say, or maybe it was just like the angles were not correct or perfect. That will definitely come to you if you watch the movie for a second or a third time. But in the first watch, definitely the cinematography was on point for this movie. So even in this scene where Anil Kapoor is chasing Javed, like he runs behind him and Yogita runs behind Anil Kapoor with the camera, you can actually see the camera move and shake a little bit, which shows that yeah, she was running with the camera and she could capture everything, she could capture both of them. So all these scenes were planned in a very well way, which shows that the cinematography of the movie was actually very good. It wasn't like, okay, Anil Kapoor's going to hit Anurag Kashyap and he's going to fall like a meter away or anything. This never happened in the movie. If even in the fighting scenes when Anurag and Anil Kapoor were actually fighting, it didn't show the fighting scenes to be too dramatic or too unbelievable in that way. It was actually believable. It was true in a sense. So yeah, it kind of gave an impression that this is not a story, but it's actually happening in front of you. Okay, so this is my favorite part, the conclusion. Why the hype around this movie? This had to happen because this included two people from the Bollywood industry who are very influential. First one is Anurag Kashyap, who is a well-known director. He is very famous for directing very famous movies like Gangs of Wasseypur and a lot of other movies. And an actor, Anil Kapoor, who is obviously very famous. He has done so many amazing movies, so many blockbusters. So these two put together in one frame, especially in a very different sort of a movie, which is not like the usual Bollywood movies where you see a lot of drama, romance and blah blah blah. It was not like one of them. It was not a very cliche sort of a movie. It was a very different movie. It was showcased in a very different way. It was projected in a different way. It was shot in a different way. Everything from the storyline of the movie to the way it was directed, to the way the casting was done, to the way the picture was shot and everything of this movie was different. It was something that Bollywood actually needed at this point, because we saw a lot of movies where, okay, there was a lot of action. We saw a lot of movies which were very cliche, even though we know that this actually cannot happen in real life, but we just like to see it on the theater, like we just like to see it on the big screen. But movies like this on an OTT platform is extremely important, because it actually changed the perception, the mindset of an Indian movies watcher or a Bollywood movie lover. It showed them that Bollywood movies can be much more than just being fake or just being unrealistic. It showed that Bollywood movies can actually go to a depth. They can actually show you how real they can get, how dramatic they can get, how much in dark comedy they can get, how much a dark film can they make. And these actors did a great job. Anil Kapoor did a great job. Anurag Kashyap did a great job. Of course, we have to recommend even Harsh, who was Anil Kapoor's son, the way he projects himself, the way he tells his dialogues, and the way he showcases a scene where Sonam Kapoor gets kidnapped and how he will help Anil Kapoor find her is amazing. So all of these things were very well planned. The movie is very well planned. It is definitely a must watch, and which is why Netflix has actually put it on #1 in India. It is definitely a must watch. You guys must watch it if you haven't watched it already. So yeah. what more can I say than I already have? That's it for this video, guys. If you like this movie review, please make sure that you like, share and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye.